On Monday, investigators with the Williamson County Sheriff's Office in Tennessee found skeletal remains, saying it appears the bones had been exposed to the weather for some time, and they may have a connection to a missing person case here in Steuben County. Good evening, I'm Jackie Gillis. Thank you for joining us for 18 News at 6. Those remains found in close proximity to where a missing Steuben County man, Nieko Lisi, was last seen 11 years ago. Let's take a look back at the timeline of events in this unsolved case.
The mystery begins September 30th, 2011. 18-year-old Nieko Lisi left his hometown of Jasper, New York with a buddy in a truck they didn't have permission to drive. They traveled to Michigan, where Nieko dropped off the young man, then continued south to Tennessee, specifically Franklin, where Nieko attended his junior year of high school.
I have a young man who has been missing for years now, and he's made no contact with loved ones. There's probably something sinister that has happened.
According to Franklin police, Nieko was last seen on Flintlock Drive, a residential street off Liberty Pike. Nearly 5 years passed with no leads. Then in 2016, detectives found the 2004 GMC Canyon pickup Nieko was last seen driving locked inside this Nashville garage of a home in Sylvan Park, known in 2011 as a party house.
It was found in what I call a chopped up state. Only pieces of it were left.
Is there a reason why the address is not being released?
Well, I don't want to say that the truck was there because whoever was living there at the time is responsible. Hopefully it puts them at ease knowing that I'm not just out here telling everybody, and it makes them more comfortable to come forward and to talk to us.
Do you believe this is a solvable case?
Absolutely. 100%. I would go on to say that in my mind this is not a cold case. This is an active investigation for me. I believe there are people in the community of Middle Tennessee, Nashville and Franklin specifically, that have information, and I want them all to come forward.
And 11 years after Nieko went missing, Monica Button, Nieko's mother, hopes that this may be the answer she's been searching for after officials reached out to her to see if there was a possible connection.
I truly believe that he was killed. I don't believe he's alive. I don't believe he has been alive for years. Last Saturday, I received notification from authorities in Tennessee that they had found remains in the Franklin area, and there was concern that it could possibly be him. This time was different because he notified me. There have been really no specifics given to me about the remains that were found, but I do believe it was because it was such close proximity of where he was last seen. It was within 5 miles. I knew that something was very, very wrong very early on. My mom had called me and said that she had called Nico's phone and that someone had answered, and she believed that it was Nieko, but she wasn't 100% sure. And they answered the phone and said, "I can't talk right now, I'll call you back." And so my mom had called me to tell me about this, and at that point, I'm calling my kids, my ex-husband, my sister, my brother. I'm telling everyone to blow up Nico's phone because, you know, my mom had just called it and someone had answered, but no one ever received, you know, an answer or a call back or a text or anything from him after that. But it was not normal behavior for him to disappear and not ever have any contact with his family again. That was very unsettling for me. I knew what my kids' habits were, and his social media was one of those habits. And it was just done. It was over with, and no one would listen to me. It took the police in New York a very long time to check anything out in Tennessee, and that was hard because I knew in my heart that boy was in Tennessee, and they kind of took the highway of, you know, he's in trouble, he's running. Just because the phone traveled doesn't mean that he did. We had followed a map from Verizon where you could see that the phone had traveled to Franklin, Tennessee. So I had called all these people, and eventually a boy called me back and told me that Nieko had been to his house on Flintlock Drive on October 1st of 2011, and that Nieko had spent the night there. On Sunday, they went to play soccer, and then that afternoon, Nieko had walked back to this boy's house on Flintlock Drive, collected his stuff, and left. And I eventually traveled to Tennessee myself. I went to see this boy and his family on Flintlock Drive. I don't believe they were telling me the truth about what they knew about my son being there. I still don't. It's been a long 11 years. I was very on edge over the weekend. It's been tough thinking about, is this the end for us? Is this, the answer that we've been looking for? People may think it's crazy, but I pray that it is. It's been a long time coming. And I do hope that it is my son so that I can bring him home.
And if you have any information that you believe might help in this case, you're urged to contact officials in Tennessee by calling 1-800-TBI-FIND. No tip is too small to help solve this ongoing case.